Coming up on Crit Pro Quo. Kamiz, Toughness Matters, check it out. What's going on? Thanks for checking out Crit Pro Quo. Today I would like to take a deep dive into my favorite commander deck. This is a Toughness Matters deck, meaning we will be playing cards that let our creatures deal combat damage with their toughness rather than their power. Utilizing Kamiz Obscura Oculus as the commander, we can give one attacking creature unblockable and a +1/+1 counter, provided we discarded a non-land card to the Kamiz trigger. Then we can give another attacking creature with lesser power double strike. This should be easy to achieve, as 34 of our 37 total creatures range from 0 to 3 in power. Even if we start to spread our connive triggers around, we should always have another impactful creature with lesser power. This makes Kamiz very valuable, but not entirely necessary to play the game and execute our Juicy Double game plan. The phrase Juicy Double, used to describe this deck, refers to 3 key aspects of this deck. First and foremost being the big butts, and that's no lie. This deck is stacked with creatures that are on the thick to dummy thick side of things. Secondly, we can't talk about Juicy Doubles without talking about Double Strike. Our commander will allow us to give one creature Double Strike, but we certainly double down on creatures that are thick and slap with both cheeks on their own. These cards also come equipped with some seriously powerful triggered abilities, but we wouldn't be truly double cheeked up if we weren't able to double up on all of our triggers. Using cards like Strionic Resonator, we can pay 2 to tap it and copy a triggered ability from, say, our commander, allowing us to potentially draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and get 2 +1/+1 counters on unblockable creatures, while also giving 2 other creatures double strike. Strionic Resonator also works very well with the Juicy Doubles we mentioned earlier, allowing for some pretty amazing synergy. Not only that, but we have another Juicy Double that spells trouble for our opponents.
I'm in danger!
The newish Peregrine Dynamo. This is similar to Strionic Resonator in the way that it can copy triggered abilities, but it also has the ability to copy activated abilities as well. However, this effect can only be applied to legendary creatures that are not our commander. One card that'll be sure to get the friction on with the Peregrine Dynamo is Geralf, Visionary Stitcher. His cheeky activated ability definitely don't want none unless it's got buns, hun. Utilizing Geralf, we can use our Juicy Doubles until the break of dawn. Even without being able to deal combat damage with toughness,
Kind of just want to do like the silly thing because I'm not getting anything that lets me do toughness damage. We'll go to my second main phase and I'm going to discard 3 cards to Tireless Tribe, make it +4, 8, 12. So it'll be a 2/14, and I'm going to pay 1 and tap Geralf to sacrifice it to make 14/14. And then I'm going to tap 1 and tap Peregrine Dynamo to copy it.
The 2 14/14s?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. They don't fly, do they?
They're zombies, so they do.
Huh?
Geralf gives zombies flying.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's insane.
as you can see, this effect is pretty impactful, especially when paired with cards like the Peregrine Dynamo, allowing us to make 2 big beaters with flying to start clapping our opponents. This deck is also packing enough recursion to make anyone do a double take. Cards like Unearth, Animate Dead, and the classic Reanimate will allow us to not only keep our toughness damage enablers around, but also let us double down on activated abilities like Geralf's. Umbral Rites and Savine's Reclamation are both excellent here, as they are able to be used from the grave, meaning we can discard these 2 connive triggers and still reap the benefits later. Now you may be saying, wow, this all sounds so great, but how do we make sure we get these juicy doublers in our hand? Of course, we have a tutor package in this deck. It's a bit different from your usual powerful tutors like Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, or Imperial Seal. However, those tutors just don't have that butt. Disciple of Deceit allows us to discard a card and tutor for a card with the same converted mana cost when it's untapped. This works incredibly well, as the average CMC in this deck is a solid 2. Being a 1/3 rogue also has its advantages. Using Tetsuko Umezawa, we can smack with that backside without the worry of being blocked and destroyed. Drift of Phantasms is a transmute tutor that will allow us to grab any 3-drop, something like High Alert, which lets us do toughness damage and attack with creatures as if they didn't have defender. We can then reanimate the wall and start swinging in for 10 flying. Zer the Enchanter, one of my favorite cards of all time. This will allow us to tutor in combat to either find removal, like Grasp of Fate, or some fun combat tricks like Stone Skin. High Alert can also be put into play before damage goes through, allowing us to sneak in some cheeky damage. Now let's talk about card draw before we wrap this up. Not only will our commander let us have a regular looting effect with an upside, being the +1/+1 counters, we have 10 other sources of card draw, from the humble Esper Sentinel, who just becomes harder and harder to deal with as we connive, to something that can really draw us a bunch of cards, like Marnius Calgar. I wanted to highlight this card because not only does he have double strike and a dump truck, his triggered ability, Master Tactician, draws us a card whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under our control. This, paired with EDHREC, can draw us cards only limited by the amount of mana we have to spend. Let's not forget, Master Tactician can also be copied by the Peregrine Dynamo and Strionic Resonator, not to mention the 9 other token producing cards in this deck. Along with EDHREC's ability, when we draw a card, it can also be copied with Strionic Resonator. We have our ramp package. Along with the staple mana rocks for Esper, we have some more unique treasure generation that fits our theme nice and snug. Currency Converter allows us to recycle and reuse the cards discarded for connive triggers. Black Market Connection is quickly becoming a staple in many decks with a power likened to Rhystic Study or Mystic Remora. Being able to regularly get all 3 modes, I would consider it closer to a Sylvan Library, allowing you to be greedy for big value at a cost. Prosperous Thief, Hoard Robber, and Grim Hireling all work well on their own, but are even more powerful when working together. Double Strike being an insane modifier here, as these all trigger off of combat damage. And with that, we will wrap up this bodacious Booty Battler deep dive. If you've made it this far, I applaud you. I would have just looked for the deck list in the description below. Seriously, thanks for making it to the end. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite commander deck is. I really enjoy seeing a deck use unique and powerful strategies that are fun to play with and against. Don't forget to tap that like and subscribe button. If you're enjoying this content, why not stick around and take a look at the video that featured this deck, and a few others. 34 commander decks in 60 seconds. Sounds impossible, I know, you'll just have to see for yourself. Thanks for the support, tune in next time for some gameplay featuring this deck. Adios!